Hi.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
And Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as TooLizForYou, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry, and on Instagram I post under our Knitting in Our Jeans, and I posted, I think last week. Did I post my sweater this week? I don't know that I did a lot of posting this week. I was actually trying to make great strides, and I think I have. I don't know if I've made enough, so we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Yes.
So, have you finished anything?
I have finished 2 squares.
Oh, my word.
It's been 2 weeks since we saw you all.
Mm-hmm.
I've been keeping to my...
1 square a week?
Yes.
Nice.
So, I forget what I'm up to, but I finished 2 more.
Okay.
Reaching back.
Reaching into the bag.
Yes, reaching into the bag. I have this one, which I think was this week's. And it has been blocked. Okay. And then...
That is Bobblicious.
Oh, yeah. Not a pattern I would have chosen myself. But, here. Now, I like this one.
Ah, the welts. Yes.
Yes, I do like the welts. So, the welts I found fascinating. And it is also blocked. So, now all of my pieces that I have done have been woven in and blocked. So that's good. And while you talk about something, I'll count how many I have.
Okay. So, yes, it's been 2 weeks. No, I haven't gotten much done. Unfortunately, my job is ruling my life, which also means that I am very tired when I get home, and so I am not doing as much crafting. I've also lost my knitting mojo. So that is frustrating, and I realized the one thing I did finish is in the other room. So once Mother is done counting, I will go get that. But I have finished all of the major pieces of the first square, or the first section of the Tamora Pierce Stitch Along. I've also done the identification nameplate. So we've got Alana's Shield, her cat Faithful. We've got the Becca Cooper books, the Alana books, and now I am doing the inner border for the box down here, which is going to be based on Allie.
Yes. Okay.
So I will start this tonight, and I will work on this one, because I think if I get it done as you were doing with your big piece, quadrant by quadrant, once I get this done, I'll go back and I'll fill in all of this space, because all of this space is all the same color as the medium color here, and that'll be repeated over here as well. So I figure I'll just do it all in one go. I'll finish that up, and then I will move the entire piece over, so that I can do the Amalie series, which goes here, and then whatever is revealed for these bottom 2, which are still to be revealed. Again, yes, this was supposed to be something I kept up on. This is a lot of stitching. It is full coverage. So
yeah, like mine.
Yeah, I'm just glad that I'm getting as much done as I am, and you will just keep seeing it until it's done. So I hope you all don't get bored with it. So how many do you have?
I have 12. So that means there's 4 left. And then there's yarn in the kit to connect them all and then do a border. So at physical therapy, I told one of the physical therapists that I was making some of my holiday presents, my Christmas presents, and I mentioned that I wanted to make some of the inside-out toys. And she was gobsmacked by this whole thing. And it was like, you can do that? So she says, I want to see them. I might want to have you make me some. I said, I had never made them before. Let's cool our jets. And I said, plus, I want to finish my mom's Afghan, at least making the squares, before I start on these toys. So I said I probably won't start on them until after the middle of October. Since we're going to Rhinebeck, I'm going to make a short list of the yarns that I'd like to use in the toys. I'm kind of doubting that I'm going to find it at Rhinebeck, because I'm thinking what I want is acrylic. Let's be honest. There's going to be a lot of teething, chewing, throwing of these things if they're used at all. And I think it would be much better use of foresight to have it that they're easily washable, machine dryable, like sanitizable, rather than saying, "Oh, but I use wool." Nobody,
even if they're superwash.
Even if they're superwash, I think I'll be visiting Michael's, honestly, but that's fine. Or ordering Lion Brand online, because sometimes going to Michael's, you can't find exactly what you want, but certainly ordering you can. And Lion Brand has been having sales out your ears. Like every week I'm getting an email from them that something's on sale. So Lion Brand certainly helps keep knitting affordable, just as a high sign there. So that makes it nice. So I'm hoping that the week after Rhinebeck, I'll be able to start maybe one of the Inside Out toys. So that's my plan for that.
Nice.
Would you like to see what else I worked on?
Would you like to see what I finished this week?
Yes, I
or
would.
last week, technically?
Yes. What did you finish?
I finished my dress.
Oh!
For the wedding.
Did you wear it?
I did.
So it was cool enough.
It was. Unfortunately, it shed from the seams and made every part of me
hot.
No,
purple,
burgundy, or black, with little pieces of fabric. So my underarms were completely covered.
Well, that makes it fascinating.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly how to solve that problem.
Oh, I can tell you 6 different ways to solve it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Line it is
well,
one of them?
lining it is one of them, but also you can take some bias tape and
just put it on that part, yeah.
Sew over it,
yeah,
and hide it.
That was
all
part
it
of my.
Is some covering, or you can get some like batiste or any kind of light cotton.
Okay.
Or I would do cotton rather than silk.
I have more of the bias tape. Yep. Yeah. So I hemmed it, and it looked really good, and I wore it. And I was very pleased with it. This is a case where even if you had tried pinking it with pinking shears, it would not have stopped the raveling. Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's from the seams that it was turning me colors, or if it's the fabric itself. That's what I was thinking. So, what? That it's the fabric itself? That it could be. Yeah. So we'll see. Is it dry clean or wash? I threw the fabric in the wash when we first got it. So I'd wash it again. Okay. And then whatever it is, it is. Yeah. All right. That's my answer for that. I'm glad you finished it. Me too. It's only a year plus in the making. Well, I mean, the wedding did get we need to put the sewing machine away. Okay. Okay. So I'm digging to the bottom of my bag to see what's in here. Ah! So the Knitrino knitting app, they want to be your next best buddy. Which is fine. But I don't need people being my buddy to get me knitting. Right. You know, I don't need to be in a Zoom so that people can see my progress. Right. For me, that feels like pressure. It makes it feel like work. If I tell myself I want to get something finished, that's fine. I just don't want to have these check-up Zoom meetings just to see how things are going. Yes, but this is also a knit-along. But that's me. When I started this, I didn't realize it was a knit-along. You had told me it was a knit-along. Whatever. So. And I think the pattern is a little strange. Okay. So I have gotten this far on the sweater. So I think there's a very fast decrease on the sleeve, but it actually looks okay on. Okay. I realized that this is my main color, and by using this much for this sleeve, I will use the same amount for this sleeve. That if I did the entire sleeves in that color, I would have nothing for the body. And the only color so you think that I had for the bottom would have been this. I'm not putting this entire color block of my sweater. Okay. Maybe if I were 15, but not now. Reasonable. I have 3 other skeins of Tits Out that are mostly gray. Yes. That go with this. So I'm saving this
to be a yoke or something for another sweater, rather than you just use it up for a bottom of a sweater. So what I have done is I have taken another one of my colors, which I think is my B color, and I have used it on the bottom part of my sleeve. I know from this sleeve that I will have some, and I divided the ball I had in half.
Okay.
So I have another ball to finish up this sleeve. When I finish both sleeves, there will still be an amount left over.
Okay.
Just keeping that in mind, but it's not going to be a lot. I came up here last night to look to see if I found another one of these little fluffy balls. I didn't see it immediately, and I'm not going digging.
Okay.
You know, because it could be all the way in the back, and I don't feel like taking everything out and putting it back again. Does the word lazy come to mind? Yes, you bet, absolutely. So what I have done is I have found this, which I think makes a good, it's a much more solid brown, and I think that it will be a nice bottom part of a sweater.
Yes.
Now, what I can do is I could do 2 rows of this in between. Since it is a colorwork sweater, I think that might be nice. You know, to make a color differentiation, or I may not. If I want to have the eye just travel down, which I think makes a longer look to it.
I do think so.
That I may skip that one-off color and just go into this. This is Zoftig, The Tree of Life by Verdant Griffin, and they have been out of business for a while.
Yes.
I never did hear exactly why. They started out as the
Sanguine Griffin?
Sanguine Griffin, thank you, with 2 partners that did a great job. And then they broke up, and one became Cephalopod, and the other became Verdant Griffin. Cephalopod quit dying years ago because of a serious illness. And then Verdant Griffin continued on for several years, because we saw her at Vogue Knitting in New York a couple years.
Yeah.
And she was always very responsive, at least to me, because one of the times she and I were knitting a sweater. We had started a small knit along, like 6 of us. And she managed to lose part of her pattern or lose her place, and I managed to send her a piece of the pattern so that she could continue on. She was always very responsive. She did some custom dyeing for me. It really, she was great. But for some reason, she's now out of business. And so this is a nice shaded brown that I had gotten to make a totally brown sweater. Well, totally brown is just not what I wear.
No.
It probably would be fine. I mean, I'm a very pale woman. So totally brown would probably look fine on me. I just, not something I immediately gravitate to when I put my hand out. So I'm going to use this for the bottom of the sweater. My goal would be to be able to wear this at Rhinebeck.
Okay, so we got 2 weeks.
Right. I can finish this in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Because
I will not finish the sweater I had planned for Rhinebeck in 2 weeks, since I have no mojo.
I can finish the sleeve in probably a day and a half, and then just knit the body.
Nice.
So actually, if I just focus on that this week, I could finish that. I'm not going to just focus on this.
No, because why would you do that?
Well, here's the other ball.
Ah.
So I know, and there'll be some left over, but this is all I have left of what, quote, my main color.
So so your suggestion to anyone who would be looking at doing this would be to have to have 2 skeins of the main color.
Yes.
Instead of just one of each.
Yes, absolutely. Unless one of your other colors
can be used.
Is not so bright. I mean, this would be enough for the bottom of the sweater. It's just not the color that I want at the bottom of my sweater. Plus, Elizabeth said that I'm so...
It's too...
It's a little shocking.
Right. I think it would be great.
Yeah.
I just think...
It's like the fabric that I got for my summer walking dress. For a summer piece of clothing, I think it's fine. For winter, I think it's too bright.
I was also going to say, I think now that you're specifically leaned into your gray hair,
yes,
you're much paler in general in your coloring
yes.
than you have been in the past. And I think if you were still, like if you had my hair color, I think I could do that.
Yes.
And it would be fine.
Yes.
But I think you're just a little pale.
The whiteness.
Yeah. I do love it, though. It is a great color, and...
Oh, I do love it.
I know you do. We're not disparaging the color. We are just saying that...
It's this whole package.
It's a little bright, even...
Yes.
Just...
It would have to be kind of, like it is on the colorwork sweater.
Yeah.
It would have to be down here somewhere, so that what's
or an all-over kind of colorwork where that's the contrast color.
Right. Right. It has to be the pop rather than the main.
Mm-hmm.
For me.
Yeah.
And that's our thoughts. Again, if I were 15, great. Or if it were cotton and it were summer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all over that. Speaking of which, I got a new pattern. The pattern that I bought from Pattern Review arrived.
Oh.
So it is a relaxed A-line.
Oh, okay.
So I think it'll be good for a walking dress. We can find some spare fabric and make it up, and then see if I want to cut into my Lily Pulitzer.
Okay.
Still haven't made that perfect walking dress because we really haven't identified the fabric of my present walking dress.
No.
It's some kind of cotton, but I have not, in looking up Lily Pulitzer, I've not been able to find that kind of slightly stretchy cotton fabric, and yet it was what she was doing a great deal of the time at that point in time. Which was 32 years ago.
I'm 31.
That I
going
bought
to be
this.
32.
Well, we've been married 8 years, 7 years. 7 from 44 would be 37 years ago.
Yeah.
This was fabric you could find all over, labeled Lily Pulitzer. So
yeah,
it's been a while. Anyway, what else do you want to talk about?
So the other thing I've been working on is my Kuschelig. I'm on to color number 6.
Oh my goodness.
Let me just make sure these needles aren't going to twist off.
Yeah, that would be good.
I'm on to color number 6. I found all of the colors, which was very exciting. They were hiding under some stuff. Which happens.
We were at her apartment
Monday,
because there was a small issue or a large issue. There was this burning smell.
No, there was a fish smell,
smell.
No fish in my kitchen. Which we found out is also the smell that overheating electrical wiring insulation smells like.
So they decided they should pull out the refrigerator and vacuum.
Mm-hmm. And then my vacuum broke.
Right, so then we got a call to bring the shop vac. And I brought my bag of projects to work on because I didn't know how long we'd be.
Well, and you also were like, okay, well, if it's electrical fire, we need to get you out.
Yes, I was ready to evacuate Ben and Elizabeth within 10 minutes. If, like, this looked like it was going to be bad, we were going to be out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd call the the management people, and say, you need to get up here before you lose the building.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I was in prime evacuation mode. We call it fluming.
Yeah.
Where you take everything and just throw it together and bug out. I've suggested that she pack a fleeing bag or a go bag so that if she wakes up some night in the future and finds that she has to leave via the fire escape, that she can get out. And this is somewhat engendered by my watching sailing videos. There has been, I think, a mini-watched, a very popular, sad tale of watching a 50-foot catamaran burn to the waterline in less than 5 minutes. And not only did it burn, but the ropes holding it to the dock burned, and it floated into the next boat down and set it on fire, and it burned to the waterline. One boat stayed by the dock. The first burning boat floated then into the canal and into a navigable waterway and became a hazard to navigation, which then made it subject to U.S. Coast Guard fines. this happened in a little more than a blink, but not much more than a blink. So if you're on a boat, you need to have your emergency raft available and ready to go. It should not be something that's in the utility garage and you have to wrestle out. Not if you are also on the boat and you're on the water. Obviously, if you're in the boatyard, jump over. And you need your go bag. You need a bag packed with water and food to sustain you for at least a couple hours. You'll notice that I'm always drinking something. I take antihistamines, and so I'm always dry. So I go more than 10 minutes without drinking something. I'm dry. So we need to be packing at least a gallon of water. You need to pack a few things to eat because you're going to be, your whole system's going to be revved. You're going to be using up your sugar energy, and you need to save some energy in order to flag down help. So you should, have a go bag. I'm laughing inside because my go bag previous to this was my sail bag. So Rich said, "You want to go sailing?" That was my go bag. I'm ready to go. Grab something to eat, and I'm ready to go. So we have water that we buy by the case or double case. And I have my sun butter in little packets, so I can grab a couple of those. I can grab a can of peaches, and I'm ready to go. And in fact, since we thought we were going to be buying a boat, I also have roast beef. I've got 2 canned hams, 1 pound canned. So I can grab all kinds of things and be ready to go. So anyway, we're also waiting to hear back from the boat owners from the North Carolina boat. If we hear back from them that there is standing headroom for a 6'1" husband at the kitchen sink, then we will be going down to North Carolina post haste
to take a look at
it in great detail. So I'm really crossing my fingers that they get down there soon because, of course, we can't go during Rhinebeck weekend.
No, you can't go during Rhinebeck weekend.
We can't go during Rhinebeck weekend, so we will be kind of working around Rhinebeck. But my fingers are all crossed for that. It's up to me to do something else. Okay.
Yeah, and so this is about all of the knitting mojo I've had recently.
Yes, she's been doing her
I've been doing stabby projects, as I like to say. And I think I have figured it out, and it's the fact that you can see more progress with the cross stitch.
Yes, well, and there's different colors and
exactly. Yeah. There's more incremental progress achievable. And my current stage at work is not.
It's a little frustrating.
It's a lot of get things done but get nothing checked off the list. So I think that's kind of feeding into all of this is that. So that could
Makes
be why
sense.
you're not seeing much from me. But I am reading a ton, and yeah. So what else are you working on?
I've started working again on my Serenity.
Ooh. Oh no.
Hold on. 1 ball of yarn is attached to it. That's the one that's doing the body.
Okay.
But since I've now started the sleeve, what's going on here?
You're pulling it through somewhere.
There. It was just weirdly. So
Nice.
I had done down to here, I think, the last time, and I realized that I have reached a stage where I could be doing the sleeves. And our motto is usually do the sleeves before you finish the body, because then you can knit all that you have left.
Yes.
So I have now.
So then you are. So then you also know if you make it cropped, what you have to do.
Right.
Or if you have to add an extra ball of something, or if you have to do coordinating hem, or it
gives you a little bit more open mind space for creativity. So these sleeves are not right on your shoulder. They're actually drop sleeves. And at this point, you've got the grain of the knitting going one way with the body and another way with the sleeve, which is making it a little tight right here. But I think with blocking, it will even or ease out.
Okay.
I have done about 2 inches. I do 4 more inches until I get to a minimal decrease, and then I do the whole sleeve before I start the cuff will be 16 inches. So I obviously have 14 inches more to do. I think I could actually do 14 inches tonight because it's just round and round and round and round. And if I watch movies, and we have found a couple murder mystery sets of movies, Mrs. Bradley with Diana.
You should check on Acorn if the rest are on Acorn.
Diana Rigg. I have found Van der Valk, who is a Dutch detective, and in the early ones, he's very suave and debonair. He is a Dutch man who has married a French woman.
Oh.
It's very sexy. There's an updated version that is for sale on Amazon. It had been, I think, on BritBox, but now you can watch each episode for like $2.50. I don't need to do that. I can wait for it to get back on BritBox or Acorn or something else, and I can watch the old ones. There have been some of these things where it looks like he's entirely nude. So the early, especially since it's Dutch, I'm thinking, well, it's very European. So anyway,
not Father's cup of tea, but something that is Father's cup of tea in a murder mystery is Only Murders in the Building.
Yes.
On Hulu. It hasn't been completed yet. They are releasing episodes weekly. We did a catch-up last night, and we have one more episode to catch up on before we then have we'll wait until the end of the season, and then we'll catch up fully. Yeah. But it's very good. It's with Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez as the main characters.
There's Sting in it.
I was going to say there's Sting, there's Nathan Lane, Tina Fey makes an appearance.
Yes.
It's very good, and it's also good if you're looking for something that's decently family friendly.
Yes.
For older family. I don't know how children friendly it is. But my father.
Think so. I think they'd have to be older teenagers, really.
Or like teenagers at least.
Yes.
My father, as we've discussed, does not do overly
sexual,
overly murdery, but murder shows. So this is a really nice happy medium.
Yes.
Also because he tends to feel a kindred spirit in Steve Martin.
Yes, he does.
Especially Steve Martin's character and the way he portrays himself in this. It's very funny because Dad gets either very affronted because it's true, or he laughs and he goes, "Oh, wild kid." Or he finds it just very funny. So I wanted to just put that out there if you're looking for something to watch with the whole family. The episodes are about a half hour long, so they're pretty digestible if you are not a, sit down and binge a whole season. We are. My dad isn't. No. So that's why I waited until we had a few, because Dad also doesn't like to just sit and get a cliffhanger. Because he's gotten used to the British shows where you watch it for like an hour to an hour and a half, and you get a whole thing. But yeah, so that's kind of been. Oh, and we have Great British Bake Off.
Yes,
we need to discuss
because
also we haven't watched
Girls Five Ever. That apparently looks good, and then Dairy Girls that we've talked about in the past that we want to see.
We have so many things we want to watch. It's just what it is.
Yes, yeah, it really is. So. I will be able to sit down and work on sleeves. And speaking of sleeves...
Yes, speaking of sleeves...
I have finished one sleeve.
Oh my goodness!
On this.
I can't wait to see this after it's been through the washer.
Whoops.
Because it's a little crinkly now, but it'll look so good. So
it's this sleeve, and then there is a neck detail.
I love the neck detail as it is. It looks great.
Yes. It's just a finishing to be able to help it hold its shape. So I kind of marked off, I think, where the decreases were. I think I remember looking ahead that I can't remember why I did it, but there was a reason. I'll let you know when I do finish it. So it takes a while because you're only addressing one more stitch each row. You're knitting back and forth. So
it's a short row sleeve cap.
It's a short row sleeve cap.
But it looks
again,
really
this
good.
one was not well written with the sleeve cap. So it wanted you to start on 14 over here and then go over to 20 over here. So a total of 20, which is the way I read it. Or maybe to 20 over here and then do the back and forth. But that makes it uneven. and I don't know any sleeve I have ever put in that I have put it slightly cocked. So at that point I said, all right, well then I'm going to make it just even.
Reasonable.
Back and forth, and it makes a nice flat cap.
I do like the look, especially in a cotton or a linen, the flat cap of a...
Yeah.
Because I find with cotton and linens, they tend to puff more.
They do.
So I do like a nice short row sleeve.
And the answer to that is starting out with a large number of stitches at the beginning. So, for example, this one, I went over the 14 here, and I went over 14 here. And so it's balanced at 28 stitches at the top. So it's not little, it's wide.
Yeah.
And then it's going to go each one. It takes a little while. I mean, after a while I was going, am I making any progress at all?
And I tend to, when I do anything with that many short rows, I tend to start feeling a little wibbly-wobbly.
Yes.
Not seasick, but you feel very like you're on a teeter-totter.
Well, what I finally did to make sure I was seeing progress is I went to the bottom in the first sleeve, and I found the middle 8 stitches.
Okay.
And I put stitch markers to denote those 8 stitches because I'm not supposed to do those 8 stitches. That when I get down to 8 stitches, that I stop on a wrong side row, and then I flip it, wrap and turn, and then come back around and start doing the whole sleeve. So that then let me see when I was doing my wrap and turns, how close was I getting to the 8 stitches. That perked me up a lot.
Yeah.
And then once I got down to the 8 stitches and joined everything in the round, I like a slightly more of a sleeve than just this little cap sleeve. So I did 20 rows, at least 20 rows. I actually lost count, so I probably did 25 rows. Whereas the pattern wanted me to do a total of, I think, 14 rows. Okay. But I'm pretty happy with this. Now, it's flaring a little bit because I did a very stretchy bind off. But since this is a ribbed sleeve, it is a very stretchy sleeve. So this will be, the belling will be fixed when I block it.
And when you wear it.
And when I wear it. So I have not looked up weather for Rhinebeck 2 weeks from now. It could be anywhere from 70 degrees. Actually, one year I think it was 80 degrees. The year that you didn't get to go. We were sweating like crazy.
Well,
and most of us had made these really woolly sweaters, so we were mostly tying them over our shoulders.
So currently, the lows for the next 10 days, the lows are between 54 and 55, and the highest high I see is a 75.
So actually, this could be appropriate.
It could be, but
and I only
we'll
have
to
I have a sleeve and probably 5 rows on the neck. So I think what I'll focus on one. I think I'll do the color work. And I'll see if I can finish this, because I really would like to finish the cottons that I have in progress before it gets too much colder. And since this is maybe 3 days worth of work, that's all. 3 days worth of work. So if I do 3 days worth of work on this and then work on my color work, I might be able to finish both of them this week.
Oh my
which
word.
would be nice. And a block of them all. So we'll see what happens. I didn't work on the eggshell at all. I don't think there's anything else I have downstairs except for my sock that is on it's my travel knitting. And I haven't done anything at all with that. But it would be a good knitting project to bring to choir practice. That would be a great idea. So I can pack it in my... this is...
That's for... And you're going to use it in the...
Yes, but this is the other that I had talked about that was tits out and gray. I may choose something else since...
But that's also a fingering and that's a DK.
There is that problem. All right.
Maybe one of the things you get at Rhinebeck is a gray or a navy blue to coordinate with this.
Oh, that's a good idea. Well, I think
or you stash search.
Yes. Stash Stash Dive.
Stash Dive. Stash
Yes,
Search.
that kind of supposed to come out any day.
Friday.
So that was another reason I was hoping to get some of these sweaters done, since the Stephen West Knit Along is coming out. He has a very cute video out.
Really?
Yes, he has staged a ballet, a balletic dance with people throwing yarn, and they're talking about various color combinations. And he also talks about the fact that, yes, it's a knit along, and yes, there's going to be clues coming out once a week, but you don't have to finish the clue each week. You know, it doesn't have to be pressurized, and he's looking forward to all of us experiencing his new shawl, because he really enjoyed making it or designing it for us. We've met him a couple times. He seems to be a very sweet man.
He is a very sweet man when we've met him.
And so I think the way he comes across in this video is very much the way that I've had interactions with him. I just think he's a smooch. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just a cuddly, enormously tall guy. He's a very tall guy.
He's a very tall man, yes.
I think he's easily 6'4".
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's as tall as Joe, but he's definitely taller than Dad.
Joe, my nephew is 6'8".
Which is my standard for how tall someone is.
Really tall.
Mm-hmm.
But he's pretty tall.
Mm-hmm.
So check out the video. It's a very approachable video.
I also, like, if you're still trying to figure out colors, I really enjoyed watching and learned a lot.
How he presented
I was going to say
possible colors.
I was going to say the kits that he had put together and the colors that he had suggested, walking through why he put together the different palettes he did.
I think
and
you're right.
think
I could find something that went with this and maybe incorporated more of that. That's certainly an idea. I don't really want to come home with a lot.
I don't either, but we'll figure it out.
We have a meeting tomorrow night,
No.
those of us who are working.
Next week.
Oh, it's next week. Oh, good. I think I put it on the wrong week, but oh well. Not tomorrow, next week, of the people who are working at Indie Untangled.
Yes, so we will go over this next week as well, but just for recap, Rhinebeck Weekend for Knitting in Our Jeans involves Wool End Folk on Thursday. I will be coming over here on Wednesday, so we can leave early on Thursday.
Very early, like 6 a.m.
I'm gonna be in PJ.
Well, that gets us there at 9.
Okay. Wool End Folk doesn't open, and don't think, until noon.
Well, this gets
we
us
will
out
figure
of
it
New
out.
York,
Yes.
and maybe we can stop someplace for breakfast.
Okay, we'll figure it out. So we're doing.
The house is available, though, right?
I don't think so. Not until midday or afternoon. That's usually when check-in is.
All right.
So we can figure that out on Thursday.
Right.
So Thursday, I believe
would say
14th is.
I'll talk to Mary.
Yes, you will. So Thursday the 14th is Wool End Folk, which I believe there are still tickets available. It is an outdoor event. They are requesting vaccination cards or the Empire Pass or Excelsior Pass, or that if you are not vaccinated or not fully vaccinated at the time, to have a test within 72 hours, I believe.
I don't know. I'm fully vaxxed.
Same. So
waiting on my booster, and I'm going to have some free time after that booster, because they say the reaction to the booster is very much like your reaction to the second shot. So since I was down for 3 days,
Tanya felt it was more like her first shot.
Oh, well, that's good news. But in the news that I've read, they've said it's similar to the second shot. So I thought I'd clear 3 days out.
Okay.
And for your father, 5 days.
Yeah. So that is Thursday. Friday the 15th, we will be at Indie Untangled, which also is requesting your vaccination status, even though it is also an outdoor event. It is also a virtual event ongoing throughout the week from the 15th to
and
the 22nd.
And there are pins or badges.
There are pins that you can get that are...
Announce how you feel about your social interactions.
Yes. So there is one that says, all hugs welcome, one that says, please ask before hugging, and one that says, no hugs, please. We have decided, due to Mom's vulnerable status, as well as the Delta situation, that we are going to be, please ask for hugs.
Yes. One of our friends has just been diagnosed with COVID, and I think with her, I would say, not this time, sweetheart, but maybe next time I see you.
We are hoping that
I'm hoping
she is negative by that time.
Yes.
But yes, so things like that. Just so that you all know, you all watch us, we're more than happy to talk with you. We will be
very
masked.
happy. Fist bumps, elbow bumps, that kind of thing. We will be masked, but since in my recent past, I have a history of catching everything that walks by me. And I was saying in choir this morning that even though I get my flu vaccine, you all know I catch the flu and then pneumonia or bronchitis immediately afterwards. So, though I try my best, I love hugging people. I love hugging and kissing people. But it's probably not a good idea for me to do that right now. Can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to talk with you. But we're not doing a lot of hugs.
So that's Indy, and then we will be at Rhinebeck for Saturday and Sunday. We haven't exactly discussed how we're going to do that or what we're going to be doing exactly that time. I think it's going to be a lot of walking around, resting.
Yeah, I'm not driven to be the first online at Miss Babs. Because,
I'm not either.
You know, I have some yarn.
I know. I'm currently doing a stash reorganization project, and it is
mega.
It's a lot, y'all. But what I was essentially saying is that we will be there. We will have masks on, and we will be a bit more distanced than we might have been in the past, just because of the prevalence of Delta. And I just wanted to give you all a heads up on that, just so that in case you were so excited to meet us, and we are so excited to meet you too, but...
Well, I was a little standoffish with Ben on Monday.
My boyfriend.
And he didn't quite understand. First of all, I was in a fight or flight mode.
Yes.
Because this could be a fire and we need to get out now.
Yes.
I don't fool around with fire. Elizabeth laughs, but that's the way it is.
Yes.
Girl Scout camp train mom, I'm out of there. Like the first, most important thing is save your life.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is they come back from a wedding. I don't think they caught anything, but I don't even need a cold.
Yeah.
Much less anything else. So I was not over effusive, but I was also on this. Is this?
Do we have to evacuate you? But yeah, so I just wanted to point that out.
There was yarn all over the apartment.
Because I had started organizing.
Luckily, a lot of it was wool, so it probably would have dampened down any fire.
Yeah, I had already started organizing.
The organizing bins had come in.
Yes.
Yes.
The first round. The second round, half of them have shown up, so now half of my yarn closet is on my living room floor.
Okay.
It's frustrating, because the other half should arrive either today or tomorrow, and I'm hoping sooner rather than later.
Put away.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
So you all might be getting to see some photos. I'm checking the FedEx right now to see. They say it's going to be here today. I don't think so, but we'll see. We'll see when I get back to the apartment.
FedEx delivers late.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's where we've been.
I do expect to have at least one sweater finished for Rhinebeck.
I will probably be wearing my Mistro, which is a sweater I've made this year.
Okay. I
think I will be wearing also the other test knit I did for her, the seriography, the colorwork one. Mm-hmm. Because I also don't have photos of that one yet for some reason.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, again, don't feel like you have to finish something this year.
I'm very close.
You are very close.
I have finished the color work on the colorwork sweater. And so it's basically down to stockinette stitch. Mm-hmm. The body has a few stitches at both sides as a fake side seam, but really it's stockinette stitch. So it's a matter of being able to sit down and focus. So I will get at least one done. And for me, that will free up my brain for the shawl. Mm-hmm. And I need that because I'm not natively a shawl knitter.
Yeah.
And his shawls, his patterns are inventive. I don't say they're difficult, but they're inventive. And so I often have to read the instructions a couple times, do a couple rows, rip
Usually
out a couple rows.
watch whatever video he puts out with it.
Right. But so I may I'll probably bring that with me to work on.
Mm-hmm.
But it will not be done because the pattern's just coming out this Friday, and he did say in the video there were 4 weeks of clues, so it's not going to be finished.
No.
I may bring, tonight I can wear the one I made last year, and I can wear it with this. So I'll probably bring the one I made last year, which I like a lot. I like the colors I picked out. I'm very happy with that.
I'm probably
as usual. I'm not knitting as fast as I would like to, but the things are turning out well.
At least you're knitting. I'm not knitting, which is very frustrating.
There's another,
if you haven't figured that out,
there's another knit along with somebody. I don't even remember who, but the pattern is in Lane, and it is
I don't know
water lilies, and it's a very pretty lacework sweater, which is just my jam.
It is.
Now it is a blocky. That's not how you say it.
A
straight.
It is a large ease.
Yes, large ease, and I don't like
positive ease. It has positive ease. It is a boxy.
Boxy, that's the word.
Both of us totally lost that word for a little bit. You just saw.
But I do like the sweater. So what I would do is I would make a size smaller than what would be suggested for someone my size, because again, I'm still hoping to become smaller than this size in the future and near future rather than far future. I keep working on it. And I would also do some waist shaping. So the body of the sweater looks like stockinette stitch. So I could easily do some waist shaping, take it in, maybe up to 10 stitches. Not a lot of waist shaping, but 10 to 12 stitches sliding into the waist and then coming back out again to make it more of an A-line. But water lilies in the Lane Autumn 2021. There are a lot of other patterns in here. You can see that there's color work. Let's see what else there is. They've got pearl in here. Yeah. Let's see. Oh,
that one's so pretty.
This one is great.
It has
skylight
drop stitches, or it's a lot of yarn overs, and it's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
And I also like the cover piece, too. It's very...
Yes.
It's simple, and I like it.
I like it a lot, but I do like that drop stitch. Oh, isn't that adorable?
So cute.
When just
little schnookums.
Pinch those cheeks.
Oh, speaking of little schnookums, my niece was being a jerk this week, and I got a FaceTime from my niece, which was great.
She's not yet 2.
She's not yet 2, as we've said, but apparently my cousin and I were texting, and the little one got a hold of the phone and somehow started to FaceTime me, which was great and made my week, as you can tell. Also, because she was being a little jerk face. So I then distracted her into being less of a little jerk face, because, little ones can be little jerk faces.
They want their own way, and apparently she wanted to go to the park, be at the park, stay at the park, and her mother did not want to stay.
Well, because it was also supposed to rain.
Right. I mean,
so
there are limits.
My cousin did not want to be at the park when it was going to rain. And little one did not get that yet. But she was very cute when she called me, especially because my cousin was like, I have no idea what just occurred, but would you like to see your aunt? Okay, here you go.
I have yet to find out exactly what sweater this one is, but I do like that texture. And
the cabley one?
Isn't that nice? It must be somewhere in this book. I just haven't found it. Then the one that's on the front is called Niveus.
I like how it's an impactful color work, but it's not overly in your face, and I feel like it could be a very achievable color work for anyone, and I think it would look good on anyone.
They have an article about Myak, and the fact that they use sustainable wool from yaks, and how they are really making those supply chain lines or supply line chains with the producers in Tibet which is certainly really great.
Mm-hmm.
Then this one, which could become a color block. If you want to know what to do with your tiny skeins of yarn, take something that is pattern blocked, and you could turn it into a color block. This is called Viberna.
And you could do that in a marled way, too. If you had held one strand of, say, a white, a gray, a neutral, or a tan, a beige, and then something else with it. Or you could do minis in that way, and you could marl those sections. So it would still have that, the initial color holding it through, but it would, then you could use up those little parts.
This is called Rue de Paris, and so it is linear texture going through the V-neck pullover sweater. Then they have, recipes in here for keep it simple, easy tarts or galettes. There is a shawl called Honey Glow. Beautiful multiple textures in there. But I sent away for the color lilies, water lilies. I'm making up stuff. Then these are additional patterns that I believe you'd have to send away for.
They're at...
Yes, at outlawyarn.com.
Or something like that. I've seen that.
This is a really pretty...
By Junko.
Pattern. And then this is Unit. And it may be one of their free patterns. I know I've seen that one before in my email.
Yeah, I've seen the Junko before. It looks great. I have two, I think, Junkos that I want to make, and I need to get up the oomph to just do it. I need to get my mojo back, y'all, is what I need to do.
Right.
But
then we have some mittens.
We might have to cast on a hat.
I've got enough mittens at this point, so I'm not going to be doing the mittens. Sorensdatter, which is some Norse knitting and color work, and I think it would be very warm. Am I going to take it on? Probably not. Color work is just not my jam, but it is yours, and it's got some really nice...
That is lovely.
...work.
They're lovely little Pieris.
Yes. Then it's got another shawl, Tiara. I love the color. I also like the little pom-poms are back in.
The baubles?
Yes, the baubles. Woven Bands. Here we are. There is that. And Woven Bands is a lovely sweater. Certainly
your kinda ish?
It's my kind of tea. Then we've got another nice color. It's called Tulip Garden in a cowl and mitts. This is Vera Valamaki's new book called Stripes. So apparently she's coming out this fall. So we know what to look for. And I think then the rest of the book is...
The instructions?
The instructions.
I do have to say, the Lane books I have noticed are very high quality book. Yes. It's thick paper. It's good heft to it. And I don't know if anyone else has this feeling, but there are certain ways that a high quality paper book smells, and it has that smell.
Okay.
It's a good thing. It just smells like clean paper.
Yes.
It smells like when you open up a ream of paper for the printer, but a little bit better.
A little bit better, yeah.
So, I don't know. That's always, one of those things, when we get a book in, especially a knitting book that smells like that, I'm like, ooh.
This is going to be good.
This is at least, and it'll last you. Because,
yes.
I think these type of, I don't know, I feel like these type of pages... you can accidentally spill something on it. You can get crumbs on it, and it's not going to destroy it.
After I get it in, it comes up here and lives in the bookshelf that's over that way. That's about as full as the yarn bookshelf is. And then I photocopy the instructions out because I cross out where I am in the pattern, which is one of the things I'm noticing on both Knitting Companion and Knitrino. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that you can highlight under where you are, but you really can't block out the rest of it, which is what I'd like to do. If I could blacken out.
I think you can do it on the PDF readers.
Whatever, I can do it just as easily by making a photocopy and taking a pencil and doing it that way. And then I'm also in fear of losing the charge. whatever I'm working on. For example, when we were in Acadia and your father, went off hiking, I was coloring, but I could have been knitting, and I would have been happier with paper. And the other thing is that I find that I like to knit while I'm watching something.
Yes.
And often Richard and I don't have the same sleep schedule. I only need about 6 hours of sleep. He needs about 12. So I'm often up when he's asleep, and so I don't want to have the main television on, but I'd like to have it playing on my iPad. Well, if my Knitrino is on my iPad, then I'm flipping back and forth, and it's less continuity for me. Or I'm reading, and I'm reading on my iPad, and then crossing out on my knitting. So that's me. It's a personal preference. Whether or not I ever get an app or a program that exactly fits how I knit and how I like to knit, that's up for grabs. But you know what? It's nice that they're trying.
Exactly. I think the technology use is great, and I think the fact that there's so many options is really helpful.
Fantastic. Yes.
Where's that stitch? There it is. So I think that's, super positive.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think everything is going along pretty well, though, otherwise.
Yes, absolutely. So with that,
I was going to say, as you all know, I keep looking down because I am stitching two-handed on this. I don't know if you all can see, but I've done the entire inner border there on that bottom, and now I'm going up, and then I will come over and I will do a cross and over here, and then I will be able to start filling it in. So
exciting.
I do like being able to stitch two-handed, so I might have to invest in a lap, hook. It's a little claw that goes here and that you can sit on, or you can put the...
Or stand with feet on either side, because I have that one up there.
Oh, really?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
yes.
Well,
you'd be sitting on your sofa, and it would be over your lap.
Yeah.
Yes, I have that.
I have thought about it. I am trying to decide which to. I might borrow.
I had a feeling. Yeah.
All right. We will talk to you all next week. Hopefully, I will have more progress on something,
and hopefully, I will have finished something. We'll
have a
see
good night.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.